Good morning. Sunday morning parade, as always, at 11 o'clock. Hope you're all well. Been a busy morning for me this morning because I've been with Malcolm over on the Models for Heroes stream this morning at 9 o'clock. But anyway, loads to do this morning. Sorry for the late post up of that we were doing this. I really got to get myself into a bit more of a routine with my posting, so I do apologize, but thanks for being with us. So 8 people watching right now. Today is going to be mainly about the diorama building which we started. So yeah, there you go. Let's head straight over to the chat because, like I say, I'm only going to be on for an hour this morning. I don't want to disturb Festa and the crew. So who we got here? We've got Loads of people arriving for duty. Good, jolly good. Dexterous Craft, good morning, James, reporting for duty. Hi, Nat. We got Steve in the house saying good morning. We got model making Dave's workshop saying hello. Hello, Dave. All right. Hope you're doing your nice pre-live show routine. Big mugs of coffee and croissants, bacon sandwiches, and all the rest. Yep, everyone's saying hello to each other there, and also you've got Skullfish is in the house. Yo, it's from Malcolm. Malcolm, how you doing? Hope you recovered from your early start this morning. We've got Plastic Monkeys in the house. Morning all. Morning Plastic. How you doing? And 11 people watching, and that is everybody in the chat so far, not including, of course, Lewis, model making trucker. He's also in the house. So morning to you all. Right, so format for today is a diorama. I'm not going to go through the mess and the builds, etc. What I will do that next week, we'll have a quick look at the progress of people's builds, etc. And also a post that went up yesterday, just after the one for this, is the announcement that we are finally, after a little bit of planning and jiggling this around, we've finally got our first guest for the Plastic for Two, which will be Tim Hedworth from British Aviation Scale will be our first victim. Our first guest. So the idea of that format is to have an interview with a modeler while we're making models. There might be some challenges thrown in here and there, depending on who it is, but we're going to go easy on Tim for much him as much myself. So got any questions for Tim? There is a post in the mess. Put the questions underneath there, and that will help me out as well. So looking forward to that. Some of them will be live, some of them will be pre-recorded. So I think with Tim, we probably are going to do pre-recorded unless I can convince him to go live. Don't know, we'll see. And just so happen, Tim Scale Modelling is in the house. Morning, Tim. Tim Hedworth, just talking about you, our first victim. And Thomas Charles is also in the house saying good morning. So good morning to you. Anyway, so yeah, just a little quick announcement there. Keep an eye out because we have got lined up. I won't say who they are right yet because it's provisional, but we have got some quite off the wall interviews that hopefully will come off this year if it all goes to plan. All I'm going to say. Secrets. Anyway, let's crack on. Over to the bench. And there we are. So this is where we got to. Obviously, this is our base. We'll come back to that in a second. We've got our Yen Models horse cart all done. I've not primed it, not done anything with it at all. I've literally just finished the kit itself. Lovely little kit. Doesn't take too long to do, and well worth the look. Obviously, we've got our figures, which they're all resin. These are now primed, ready to go. Again, not done anything because I've been busy with the Daunton Assist, etc. So, what is the plan for today? He says, as you can see, I'm well organised. The camera's all gone a bit skew if I must have knocked it at some point. Silly me. Right, so this is the resin base that comes with the figures. So that gives me an idea where they're going to be. This is going to be our base. However, I'm not going to put something in here because I need a wider space, but I want it lifted up a little bit. So we're going to put a bit of blue styrofoam on top of that. Now, this will cause issues with the camera, so I apologise for that. So the idea placement-wise is obviously we want our horse cart there, I would say. And we want our figures, get the right way around. That's the way around, yeah. So we want them like that. So we want them so they are quite near the front. I don't want them in the centre, but quite near the front. And we want our horse cart sort of there-ish. So I'm happy with that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, first of all, because I'm super prepared, reach across, get a pencil. I'm going to draw around this outline very, very faintly because obviously we're not going to see most of it anyway. But it gives me an idea for the placement. for now, right? So that's where that's going to go. Obviously, that's going to go there. Why are you doing what she says? Well, it's quite simple. I want to do a little bit of extra detail. So that gives me a rough idea. Now I put a square there. There's a reason for that, of which will come abundantly clear in a little while. And of course, I'm now hesitating because I'm looking for something. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. A cocktail stick will do nicely. That gives me a rough idea as to where. Oh, is that a bit that's fallen off my? Oh, I hope not. Put that there and I'll look in a moment. That gives me an idea of where the square is. Right, cool. So before I soldier on, I'm going to go back to the chat very quickly. Live's just Tim's just saying live, ha ha ha. I don't know if that's a yes or a no. I'm not sure. Maybe you guys can help me with that. And Steve just saying there, is my car all glued the right way around? Yes, it is now. It's all glued the right way. You know. Thomas Charles just saying, why not have the horse cart on its side? To be honest, I was going to make it with one wheel off, but then I thought, no, I don't want to do that. We'll see. But no, it's going to be standing up. There is a reason. I'll make you aware in a moment. Tim was just briefly dropping in, just say hello. He'll pop back in a minute. I think he's still fiddling with his doors, painting his doors, bless him. Hope to see you soon, Tim. So yeah, so okay, so what am I going to do? Panic. Oh, panic's a good thing. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put some cover on here. And for that, I'm going to use this. Now, this is a homemade concoction. And all it is, he says, he can fight his way in. There we go. Well, this is a bit of compost, very fine compost that's got lots of bits in because I want to make it look a little bit goofy. That's not going to go for the whole of the... I mean, these bits here, they're not going to be all over it. But anyway, you'll see as I go along. So, what do we need for that? I'm going to put some PVA into a dish, like so. Some fine H2O, because we want to make the PVA glue a little bit watery. Now, you'll be glad to know I've not practiced this in any way, shape or form. So if it all goes terribly wrong, it'll all be live and I'll make myself look a right wally. But nothing unusual there. So there we go. 15 people watching now. So welcome. Make sure you say hello. Make sure you chat with one another. Because listening to me is not always the best thing, I'm sure. He wants to listen to me all the time. Right, so with a brush, you don't mind getting mucked up. I'm just going to put on plenty here. And immediately I've made a mistake. Never mind. That's right. So what we're going to do, we'll go round. Luckily, we're prepared for mistakes. I don't want the glue there. You don't want the glue there, James. Right there. So I'm going to dab this on. Like so, like so, like so. Now, obviously, the problem with this is it isn't going to be a quick 5-minute thing. It's going to take a bit of time. And it's going to take some time to dry as well. But what we want to do, some of our mix, and we're going to just gently pop it on there. Now, in this mix, it's literally just compost that you buy to go in bonsai trees, actually, I think you'll find this one. So it's quite rich. What I would say to you is make sure if you're going to use this sort of mix that you do put it in the oven. Why the wife's not looking? Don't serve it up for dinner, but put it in the oven and let it get it heated a little bit. The reason is you're going to take out any of the funky stuff in there that will make it go mouldy. Because if you forget to do that, it's not a big problem, but obviously when you go to open your packet up and find mould, it's not pleasant. So there we go. What we're doing is we're making that nice even coat as we go. So yeah, if you do this and you put stuff in the oven, please make sure either the wife is out or it's not when you're making your roast dinner, because it's not nice for dinner. Those funky mushrooms only good for one thing. So as you can see, I am actually going over the area in which that resin base will sit. Now, the reason I'm doing it this way is because I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to use the resin base or not yet. So I'm going to just go over this. If I do use the resin base, it's fine, because I can either scrape this off, which I won't probably. What I'll probably do is just put it on top, make it so it's raised. What we're actually going to go for is we're actually going to try and go for a little bit of a farmyardy sort of look. Now, the reason the pin is in the base is because we're going to have a very small amount of barn showing. So the idea being is that the cart is in the entrance or by the barn, and this is maybe in the Urals, Barbarossa, that sort of time, that sort of campaign, where the Germans have gone into Russia and they come across a peasant farmer whose only valuable possession is the cart, and they've come under fire, and a couple of Germans have been wounded. Now, something to bear in mind with this is, obviously you can see I'm tapping it down as I go. Tapping it down. What can be helpful is if you have a spray bottle where you can spray your PVA. Now, the only thing I would remind you with that is, if you do that, if you do go down that road, remember when you've finished with it to take it all apart and clean it thoroughly with hot soapy water. Otherwise, when you come to use it, it'll all be glued up and no good, which is why I'm not using it, is because I forgot. So I've now got to get myself another spray bottle effect. Something I can do spray anyway. Here we go. So anyway, you get the idea. Now, the joy of this is that obviously anything you get stuck over, you can clean it off, put it back in your box, and you can use it next time. Now, hopefully, I've got enough glue here to do everything I need it to do in the area I need it to do. So I'm going to leave a little bit of it without glue, and the reason being is I want to try and make that a slightly different texture to create a different type of interest on our diorama base. So it's a bit of a messy job. I would advise you to put some paper down or something like that, or at least use a cutting board in which you don't mind getting a bit muddy, mucked up. It washes off anyway, so it's not a big deal, is it really? Let's be honest. It's not my mother's best top. Right. So like I say, if you're going to go down this road and want a fieldy, muddly sort of effect, get yourself some compost, a little bag, something like bonsai compost, or that. 2 reasons: it's a finer grade of compost, and also it's in a small bag, so you don't need a lot of it. You can use normal compost, but I find a specialized compost to give you a bit more interesting texture. And also, as you probably noticed, there's some little bits of stone and stuff in there as well that's already put in there, because bonsais, for example, like that sort of texture for when you're repotting them, etc. So yes, I'm busy just tidying up a moment. Bear with me. I say tidying up, it's more sort of making a mess in a different direction. Isn't it really? Let's be honest. This is why you should put paper down first, because then I could have just done what I've just done all in one easy hit, really. But there you go. Right, cool. That's that bit done. So we've got a cut and mat back. We're going to give that a moment or two to cure, and we'll go on to the next step. That'll give me a chance to have a look at what's going on in the chat. Okay, so Steve's just saying to me, why didn't I paint over the base with a brownie colour before I started the base? The reason being, which will probably sound a bit mad, is the reason I've used the compost is for the texture, not for the colour. So it's all going to be painted anyway. Mad? Yeah, probably. But there is a reason for that. Realistically, you should go over it and paint it completely. There is going to be a bit in a minute that I'm not going to do that with. But I'm making up as I go along. You could paint the base, and you could use the texture of the base for like paths and that sort of stuff, and then yeah, painting it directly on there would be a good idea. Dexterous Craft is just saying, don't forget, guys, to hit the like button. Absolutely, please do that. It's very important for me, and it shows you're appreciated. So I'm very, very grateful for that. Black Rifle Model Works is in the house. So good morning. A cheeky masterclass in diorama building. Yes, sort of. I wouldn't say masterclass, but yeah, it's a cheeky diorama. Nothing major. So good morning, Luke. If you don't know Luke's a great modeler as well. I'm sure you're all subscribed to him anyway, and subscribe to everybody in the chat, because you should be all subscribing between each other. So good, yeah. Please do that. As Steve just saying, remember, guys, if you like what you see, please click the like button. It really helps the channel grow. It does. Thanks for the shout outs, guys. I really appreciate that. Especially today, it's going to be a little bit difficult trying to get everything to go in all at the same time, etc. So thank you. Yes, so I didn't have this planned out as such, so there we go. Anyway, yes. So yes, actually, going back to what Steve said, is yes, I probably will paint this part. I'll leave this part bare, and I will paint that to get the differential texture that I'm looking for. So, why the toothpick? So what we're going to do is we're going to introduce some balsa wood. And the reason for that is we're going to make a little bit of a barn effect. So just to recap on my memory, placement wise, we're going to go with the cart there. And we're going to, where's that gone? There it is. And we've got our resin base. Let me take the cart off a second. Resin base is going in that corner there like that. And the cart goes in there like that. Okay, so I'm where I need to be. That's cool. That's cool. We've got the base how we need it. So yes, we're going to come back to this. In fact, actually, do you know what? Actually, Steve, you've given me an idea. Strange but true. You give me an idea. So cool. I might try something I haven't done before in a minute. Well, we'll do that in a minute. Anyway, right, cool. So I want to make a barn side. So it's got something to stand up against. What side should we go? Right. Dum-dum-dum. Probably best to have planned this part, James, wouldn't it, really? But anyway, right, cool. So we're going to make it up as we go along, which all good dioramas are made like that. Anyone that makes dioramas will tell you that's the case. I'm sure. Okay, so how tall do we want it? We want it, I would say, want it about there, I think. See, when I first thought of this, I was going to cut all the bits out, have it all ready. But then I thought, no, I'm sure you'd love to see me cut bits of balsa wood. Why not? So this is the bit where I would use a little razor saw, only because of the thickness of the wood that we've got here. Always a good tool to have in the arsenal. There we go. That's all I need of that. It's a God blimey. 20 minutes go quick. So there you go. So we take our cocktail stick out, and we now know that that is our placement for our barn corner. Cool. Now then. Now, we're only going to need a small amount, aren't we? Do excuse me while I fiddle in the background. I think that's about right. We'll make sure that we're about where we need to be. Yes, lovely, that'll do. We can work around that. Right, cool. So, right, so okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to get my big chopper out. I'm going to let that settle for a minute. And the reason I'm going to get my chopper out is because we're going to cut some balsa wood up. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a little framework for our barn size, or sides rather. Let's have a chopper out of the way. If you haven't got, if you want to do dioramas and you haven't got a good chopper for wood, you can't go wrong with the chopper from NWSL. Brilliant product. A definite must for the arsenal. Excuse me while I fiddle away in the background. I'm going to get a little bit of wood glue. And of course, I didn't organise myself. There's one thing I didn't organise was my wood glue. So we're going to sparingly put a bit of wood glue on there. Now, obviously, you can use balsa wood glue. There are lots of products for this. I personally use wood glue because it is a cracking product and helps me no end. Okay, so all we're doing is just creating a little bit of a side here where we want things to be. That will take a little while to set. And in the meantime, I shall fiddle a little more. Oh, what did I do that for? Note to self: take away tissue with soil. Right, so that's that. Now, obviously, like I said, I haven't prepared myself with this part per se. So what we're going to do. There we go. We're going to make ourselves some boards. Nice and easy. So how am I doing, guys? You're not falling asleep yet? You're still with me? Please tell me you're still with me. Now, the reason I'm doing it this way is because I could just get a piece of balsa wood, put some grooves on it, etc., etc. Bit of detail, like holes, whatever. But I like to try and make what it is I'm trying to put together. So, for example, a wooden fence or whatever, I will take the time and trouble to make it in miniature. The reason being, I think it looks more realistic, if I'm honest, and you have a little bit more control over it. But that's not to say if I'd done it as a whole piece of wood like this, for example, and then just scored the panels out. There's nothing wrong with that either. But this is just the way I do it. So we've made ourselves a couple of bits there. Now what I'm going to do, just want to make sure I've got about the right. Yes, I have. Cool. So what I'm going to do now is what I should have done at the beginning, which I'm going to cut that in half because it's a little bit longer than so that would be around there. I would say it would be half. Yeah, so we're going to cut those in half because it makes a little bit more sense, doesn't it? So yeah, so I'm trying to squeeze wood glue. Too much wood glue at once, never a good move. So again, we're about there. Now, clearly, a much easier way to do this would be to do it flat rather than horizontal, if I'm honest. Certainly would make more sense, wouldn't it? So yeah, so what you could do is you can make the part of the actual wall horizontally and add it to the frame. But as usual, I'm not making it easy for myself. Am I? Like that. Right, so there you go. You get a rough idea of what I'm doing. And yes, I am not making it easy for myself at all. Right, cool. So what we'll do is if we lie that down like that, there you go. You can actually see what I'm doing a little bit easier as well. I say, bear in mind, I hadn't fully planned this out, which is my mistake. So anyway, so as you can see, we've got our barn wall, and we're making sure we're leaving some gaps in between our planks, and that's not working well enough for me at all at the moment. I'll lift that back up because it has dropped because I haven't got the support on it, have I? Oh, it's going wrong. It's going wrong. That's right. We'll do it like that. How's that? It can only go one way, James, and that's wrong. So, and we're not frightened of it going wrong, are we? It's a little bit too high now, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so thanks for putting the pressure on me, Luke, with the comment about being a master. Not that we function well with pressure. You will tend to find if you use balsa wood glue, it probably will dry a little bit quicker, if I'm honest. Bear with me a second. I don't think that's going to help me either. Nightmare. I've made it all a nightmare for no reason. It's not the right size, is it? That is though. That's better. I've now got wood everywhere. There we go. That's better. That's better. Let's move that out of the way a second. We're going to come back to that in a minute. Hopefully that'll be dry enough for me to proceed with what I want to do. So anyway, you get the idea. We're making a bit of planking on the side of our barn there. So I'll be with you in a second. A bit more Blue Peter, I think, required for next time. Those of you who are not sure what I mean by that, obviously, Blue Peter was a children's program where they always had something under the side already and done to be able to show you what it is they're actually trying to do. So, tap a little bit of glue. And I can't believe that I've managed to cut that actually short, but that's okay. That's not a problem. Who would make a barn with the right size of wood each time, right? How's that happened? So like I say, I want to leave a bit of a gap. Not a massive gap, but just a little bit of a gap between them. Because that'll be fun for later. So bear with me. Obviously, this is all a bit exciting. A bit new. And hopefully not terribly boring. So what I was saying earlier, Steve was saying about painting the base and all that sort of thing. And I said, oh, no, it's because I'm going to paint. It's all going to be painted anyway. But I had a thought that actually what I might do is something slightly different to what I would normally do. So we're going to use the colour of the compost we've already got there. And what we're going to do is we're going to apply a bit of static grass and see how that looks. If it doesn't look any good, I can always paint it again. Can't I, with a bit of primer, a bit of a friendly primer. So anyway, you can get the gist of what I'm doing here. I'm just making up our barn side, or our farm building side. I'm not making it perfect because it's a farmer, one of the poor farmers. And luckily, we are at a point where we're going to stop with this. There we go. So you can see what I'm trying to achieve. Just a rustic sort of barn. What I will do is, once this is all set and dried, I will take little niches out of the wood. I'll roughen up the edges so it's not quite as new looking, and give it a little bit of age. So yeah, so that's that. I will come back to that in a minute when I can. Just keep those to one side. There we go. So that gives you a rough idea of what we're doing. And what we'll do is we will we're not going to go too mad with it, because it literally will be just sat on the corner of the base. Like so. And you know what's going to happen? I'm going to tip this up and it's all going to fall off. So it's going to sit like that on the side of the base. Okay. Oh. Oh. Keep going, James. It's live. No one's really taking any notice. Right. So yes. So thanks to Steve, you've just made it a little bit more complicated for me. Move those out of the way. I'm going to try my best to add some flock, some grass, some bits and pieces. See how that looks. Right, let me quickly go over the chat first. Thomas Clark's just saying there, if you have a problem with wood splitting on the PVA, put fine sprinkle of salt on the wood. It stops it from sliding around while applying pressure. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, thought that. Malcolm was just saying, which coffee shop stirrers do you prefer, James? I don't, is the honest answer. Coffee stirring sticks are very good for stirring coffee, but I don't like the effect it gives on wood, so I use balsa wood if I can. I'm sure there are applications for it, but I'm not brilliant. So anyway, Connor and Paige says hello. Hello, Connor and Paige. And Black Rifle Model Work says has to be McDonald's stirrers for me. Yeah, like I say, they have their place, but I prefer balsa wood. It's easier for me to manipulate. If you want PVA to flash off faster, spray fine mist of IPA on it. Oh, okay, cool. That's good. Malcolm was saying that KFC stirrers are curved. Like an aerofoil shape. I prefer Costa stirrers though. Yeah, okay. And Luke just saying, make it look very easy, mate. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's all fingers and thumbs. But anyway, right, cool. So yes, coffee stirrers. Coffee stirrers are an option. Obviously, don't go into outlets and just grab everything they've got. Ask them, and they're generally quite good and will give you some if you want some. So yes. Okay, so what we're going to try, let's see how much of that's stuck on. Okay, yeah, it's not too bad. I expect some to fall off. That's not a problem. Right, so remembering the orientation of our diorama, we have our cart going like so, or thereabouts. Correct? Yes, something like that. Okay, so what we're going to do is on this side, we're going to try a bit for locking. Right, yes. As you can see, I wasn't really thinking of doing this, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix up a little bit more PVA and water. And this is really the reason why I said make sure you use an old brush for this, because it will get somewhat ruined. Right, we've got some paper ready for any messy bits. So 17 people watching, thank you for tuning in on a Sunday morning. We've got not very long until I finish. It's only an hour session. Listen, you know, this diorama build was something in which I wanted to do, but I was really unsure about how to do it. So if you're finding this of interest, please let me know, because it will determine whether I do it again or anything like that. So what I'm going to use here is a little bit of flock. This is 6 mil autumn flock. Just going to break that up a little bit. Now, I warn you now, with flock, would you believe, it is suggested that you use something to cover your eyes and something like a mask or something, because it does get everywhere and it is not good for you. So what I'm going to use is, I've got this tea strainer. It's not actually, it's a terrain covering machine. All you do is you just dab something moist, fluid of the PVA variety onto your surface. This has a battery in it and it comes with a wire. What you do is you touch said wire to the area that's wet, press the button and shake the flock on it, and it should create a static uprising of the grass. There you go. Steve's just saying there, James, if you make a 50-50 solution with a few drops of washing up liquid, you can spray the surface to the glue to glue it down. Yes, absolutely right. It's top advice. Unfortunately, the said instrument for my spraying, I didn't clean out properly and has got gummed up and is no good anymore. So hence I'm doing it this way. Spraying is a lot better and a lot easier, I've got to be honest, than this method. But we'll see how it goes. I wanted to do it this way anyway, because I want to make sure this gets stuck on properly. So all we're going to do is we're just going to drop this on. This is where it all goes terribly wrong, isn't it? Yeah, you know it's gonna. I know there's people out there all scratching their head going, what are you doing? Why is he doing it that way? Oh, James, lay yourself down, mate. Yep, I think you're right. That's not going to work, is it? Damn it. Okay, we'll try a different way. What can go wrong? Ha. We'll try this method. I'll tell you what I did in a minute. So hopefully, I press the right button. And we make it look so easy. All we're doing is electrocuting ourselves. Actually, Steve, bless your heart. Without meaning to, you've actually given me a big favour there. Oh. So, now the problem is a lot of the flocking you won't actually get on your model, you'll get everywhere else. Which is a real shame. But what we'll do, put that there for now, because I'm enjoying what I'm doing here. This is going well. So this is obviously a longer piece that we're going to use here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back over it in a minute. So let's see if I can show you what I've done. Okay, so what we've done is we've used the 6mm autumn blend flock. Now hopefully the blue on this won't create too much of a problem, but as you can see, the grass is standing nicely. Got a nice bit on there. The spraying method is a definite better way of doing it. Please ignore what I said earlier. Don't make up a watery solution and try and do it that way. That was me trying to cheat, and it didn't work. So don't do that. We all learn as we go along. Even us mere mortals who do YouTube programs. Anyway, so there we go. I'll give you a rough idea of where we're going with that. We've got 12 minutes, so we'll have a little go with the smaller blend and see if I can show you the difference before I have to wrap up, because obviously we got Fester and the gang, Colin and Dave, who are going to do their show very shortly. Right, let us get prepared. We'll put some flock in here, making sure it's all nice and broken up. It's a little bit clumpy when you get it out of the packet. You just have to manhandle it a little bit. Oh, it does make your nose itchy as well. So I'm cheating a little bit now. I've actually remembered I've got another product which I can use for this venture. And you'll all go, well, I don't understand why you've got that, but I've just used hairspray. There we go. Now, if you don't get it all over your mat, what you can do is what you haven't stuck or you didn't use, you can recollect and reuse. So let's hope this comes out. There we go. So we have got our 2 lengths of grass. We've got our nice long length here and our short length here. There we go. That's how you apply a little bit of flocking, trying to get your fingers into wet stuff, because then you're left with these sort of marks. But that's not a problem. We can tidy that up as we go along. And this is purposely done quickly because obviously we're doing this. There we go. So it is 10 to. I'm going to stop now What I will do is I'll post up some pictures. Said hairspray in a spray bottle works perfectly. Don't worry about the PVA. Get the PVA down. Use that for the compost idea for the base. And also, I like the way that looks. There's no painting required on that base at all, is there? So that's a blinding way of doing it. See, I learned something as well. Quickly have a look at the chat. Right, okay. So Colin's in the house saying, hi, James. Love the diary. Thank you very much, Colin. Model officers saying, I find it very interesting, James. Good. I'm glad you are. Modeler Phil saying, morning all. Just put up on Facebook my farm track diorama I made many moons ago. Lovely. Luke asking, what brand of static grass machine is you're using? This is Terrain Model Supplies. I don't know. Yes, Terrain Model Supplies. That one there. You can make them yourselves. There are ways to do it. It's like making your own. I don't know, your own thinner. You can do it, but that don't cost an awful lot more. Yes, thank you, Steve. I was having a bit of a panic moment. Try using pipettes. Yes, I could have used pipette on there, which would have given me the ability to get the fluid where I wanted it more controlled. Quite right. But the hairsprays work fine. I've got no other use for it. Thomas Charles saying, if the car had just been dropped off, the grass under will be flat. If it's been there a long time, long grass will be up. Absolutely. We're going to flatten some of it down, etc. Obviously, because I've done it in a bit of a rush. The composty base is wet, and I don't want to cover the cart before it's painted in lots of stuff. Model Making Trucker says, can you reuse flock that's missed the diorama? Yes and no. This that I've got here is a bit gluey. So hopefully that will pull apart. What you can do is make clumps. So yes, you can. And I am a bit of a tight wad. I won't throw anything away. But as you can see on the side here, there's a lot of flock that has missed the dio that's still there. So I'm going to reuse that when I go over the diorama with a bit more stuff later on. Festa's just saying Black Model Works. Black Rifle Model Works. You can get them on Amazon and eBay, I believe. I made mine out of a fly swat, a tree strainer with a quick release tub on the end. Yeah, absolutely spot on, Colin. You can get them on eBay, and you can spend an absolute fortune on some of them. I've seen one by a particular company, which I can't remember who it was, the company. But they wanted like 60 quid or something like that. Crazy money. Looked brilliant, don't get me wrong, and I'm sure it worked really, really well, but it's a lot of money for something you're not really going to use that often. If you're building railways, then yeah, maybe it's worth the effort. But this is probably the third time I've used it since I've had it, and I've had it 3 years. Yeah, whatever works for you. Quano Studio saying you have put down a house first, let them dry, then put the loose walk around them, give them a high and low look sometimes. Have you ever put down house first, let them dry, and then put the loose walk around them? Yes. I mean, to be honest with you, normally if I'm building a big diorama, what I would do is I would do all the base, so you'd have the houses on or the buildings on or whatever, and then I'd start putting all this sort of stuff on. But I don't need to do it on this one, so I'm lucky in that respect. Quantum just saying, don't forget to press the like button. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate everyone reminding everybody to do that. It's really cool. Astro Cat's in the house saying, James, I've got a bit of a bald spot Can the same technique be used on human skull? I've got a little bit of a bald spot, as you probably noticed, and I've not had great success with it, but give it a go. Let me know. Thomas Charles saying, it's the Sunday parade. You give a sermon over your flock. Ah, Thomas, you're absolutely right. Bless you. Yes, Luke's just saying that he's seen some upwards of £100. Yes, some of them are crazy money, so be aware. Anyway, so very quickly, what we've done today is we've put some compost on our base. This is bonsai compost, and a little bit of flocking. On this side we have got our 6mm flock, on this side we've got our 2mm flock, and as you can see, hopefully that will come out quite nicely on our, there we go. So I'll take some better pictures of that and pop them up in the mess. Let me know what you thought about today, whether you found it useful, interesting, whether I made a right complete hash of it, and whether you'd like to see more of it. That'd be useful. Next week we'll be going over the mess and our group builds and bits and pieces, and I may well do a bonus thing to do with this as well, because I'm enjoying doing it. Just remember with the terrain stuff, personally I wouldn't go expensive unless you've got incredibly large areas to do, and then I'd think very hard about it. But other than that, don't go for the expensive one. Quite a student said, I'm sorry, you have put down the toast of grass first, then the block. I'm sorry, talk to text doesn't work great at 7. No, it doesn't work great at any time for me either, so I wouldn't worry too much. Luke's just saying they've got a nice effect. Interested to watch the progress. Yes, hopefully. Let's just do that. Steve just saying that there are how to do videos out there on how to make your own inexpensive application. Yes, absolutely, you're right. Connor Man's just saying, have you ever airbrushed your flock? No, I've not done that. And we've got a Facebook user saying, hi James, yes, it has been helpful, and that is from Ron Hetzman. Good, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Tom Shaw, so don't wear your magnifiers on your head outside, the sun will burn the spot on your head. Yeah, I know, I don't. I'd forgotten I got them on there. Anyway, so there we go. That was our hour. Thank you for joining me on the Sunday Parade. We've got 21 people watching. Make sure you remember your thumbs up or thumbs down. Tell us what you liked, didn't, and check out on the Facebook mess the pictures of what we did, and tell me what you liked, what you didn't like, and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, on that note, it's Sunday. It's coming out at 12 o'clock. Thank you for your time. Ta-ta!